The poison called history, so say H.G. Wells. Governor Westmore, governor of Maryland, said, "History is our power." Now, from the book written in 1939 called God Wills the Negro, this paragraph said, "Centuries ago, the American colonists gathered to their bosom as servants and slaves certain of the peoples of Africa, to strengthen and to justify the inferior position unto which these African folk were forced. America and Europe termed the enslaved people Negroes. In the public or common mind was established the belief that the slave people were savage and not quite as human as the rest of mankind. Naturally, as members of a subhuman group, the Negro people were subjected to all the dignities and atrocities that the passion and prejudice of a master can heap upon his helpless slave. The passion of each generation witnessed the accumulation of new and more debasing attitude toward the black people. Finally, the white self came to believe itself ordained by God to hold the Negro in a state of subjection and fear. America has in part retained this primitive belief. That was from the book God Wills the Negro, which states actually about our history that we was what's called the Asian Egyptian. Of course, there's no such thing as the Asian Egyptian. We would be in that land called the land of Ham, Mizraim, and so forth. It became called Egypt after the Greeks took over that land, established Ptolemies, imitating themselves as pharaohs. Of course, it wasn't a pharaoh called pharaohs, it was Setis. And in the thumbnail is a picture of Queen Tiye, show her with the broad nose. Now later statues of her showed her with a thin nose. That's another characteristic of us. Some of us have thin nose and some have different broader nose. But the broad nose is a definite characteristic that we have as a people. As I said, we have different phenotypes. So we have to go back to our history and know the true history. Some people say, well, that was the past. And what they call Egypt, everybody call it Egypt. That was the past. But it's the past that determined our future. And our past was trying to be obliterated so we will not know who we truly are. And we will just join for any and everybody, not knowing our greatness of who we are and who we will yet become. Ourself. History as a poison.